Welcome to Oregon Voters Digest, the program that brings forward the social and political issues that are important to people living here in the Pacific Northwest. And now, your host, Bruce Broussard.
Welcome again to this segment of the Oregon Voters Digest. I'm Bruce Broussard, your host. It's too hot out there. I had to slow down a little bit. But anyway, bottom line is that we're going to have quite a show today, and we're going to talk. We're really going to spend some time on an issue that we're all having concerns with. Is this little gadget right here? This little gadget right here. Are you familiar with this little gadget? I think we all have one, don't we? We all have one. I mean, I'm just saying, but no, this issue. This is an issue right here, right? Mm-hmm. Is it not an issue? I'm looking at the other hosts that are sitting around at the table, and our format is going to be basically, as I said, we're just going to get sort of update you on some of the news, if you will, and that's appearing from a national perspective. Politics. Its impact on you. Its impact on you, stressing you out. I mean, gee whiz. I mean, I got a Facebook that I don't know what's going to happen with this Facebook, but I tell you what, I've never seen so many followers and friends that just love me. And all I did was post a photo.
Well, they're not union leaders.
Is that what it is? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, as you can see, I've got Fred Stewart here with me today. We got Don Dupay and we got Teresa. She's here. Teresa's here with us. And like I said, we're just going to go on and we're going to talk a little bit about that. I mean, you know, President Trump is really the front of the line. Whenever you go in, anytime you go across the Dixon line, that's really what the news is all about, right? About President Trump. Yeah. And he's basically, you know, he's got his position is very simple. He's pretty well controlling the news between CNN and between CNN and himself. I mean, CNN is the other side of the presidential piece. I mean, the Democrats have yet to find someone to run against him. I mean, I don't see anybody that's out there that's very pronounced.
We're not going to hear about people running for him against Trump as far as Democrats. Usually it's around October, November, their names started popping out. But I think it's going to be as late as February or March this year.
But everybody's focusing on him. It's from the standpoint that he's running now.
Who? Trump?
Yes.
Well, no, Trump. Like I've told people.
Okay.
Like I told people, Trump's numbers. For one thing, the Democrats have a hard time polling him.
Okay.
But his numbers are stronger in the polls. The polls that the politicians do. I'm not talking about the polls that CNN does. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the hardcore polls. They're better than people are led on to believe. And the Democrats are not going to release that. You understand? They're not going to say, oh, my God, you know, we're having a hard time. Because this, and I tell people, think about it. He doesn't need Washington. He doesn't need California. And he doesn't need Oregon. He could win a second presidency where the majority of people in the state hate his guts. But the further east you go, the more fans he has. Mm. You know, it's just here, and that's why I keep telling my Democrats here in Portland to stop trying to be the one that's going to say something that's going to destroy Trump. Mm-hmm. It ain't going to happen. How we're going to destroy Trump is good progressive policy from here on out in Oregon. And we got to stop doing these things and letting unintended consequences happen to to women and black people and stuff like that. The Democrats here in Oregon have been at best a disappointment when it comes to solid progressive policy in general over the last 30 years. Mm-hmm. But I think in the next 2 or 3 years, Oregon can become a state that gives people hope and an idea of how to defeat, you know, Trump and their supporters. Yeah. You know, I tell people, look at all the black people nationwide that are coming out for Trump. CRTV has hired basically a grip of black people to do nothing but write copy and stories directed at the black population. Mm-hmm. And what's their underlying message? And black people, you vote Democrat. What have the Democrats done for you?
Yep.
And I tell people, since 72, 46 years ago, what are the things that the Democrats have done that have made people like me and other successful black people, even you? Wow. I mean, what have they done? It wasn't even you because he's older, you know?
Oh, wait a minute.
Well, no, but I'm talking about the young people. You look at all these great things that black people are accomplishing, you know, what has the Democrats done since 72 that they can say, hey, because of this policy, this was able to happen? I tell people, most of the people that made my life possible in politics and in activism, they're dead. Not because people murdered them other than Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy. They got old. You understand? They were people who were active in politics in the 50s and 60s and 70s, and they got good progressive policy established that brought a lot of freedoms in my life that, people older than me, didn't realize as early in their life. You understand? And they're dead now. And if they were alive, they'd be 100. So since 72, and I was asking people here on my Facebook about 2 weeks ago, what white progressive politician in Oregon politics would you say is a legitimate civil rights champion? And I got a lot of politicians. I got a lot of political players on my Facebook, a lot of journalists on my Facebook. Nobody could come up with a name. Somebody, because they like Jeff Merkley, threw out Jeff Merkley's name. I said, I like Jeff. I've known Jeff since about 94, when he moved to Portland to do that Habitat for Humanity. Jeff's a good guy. What has Jeff done? In his politics. And they couldn't come up. And I said, I'm not throwing Jeff on the bus. Jeff's always been kind and nice to me and my family and everything. I have no axe to grind.
I never knew the guy.
But I said, Jeff's a nice guy as far as I'm concerned. But in his politics, can you name what he has done in Oregon to help advance civil rights with the black population in Oregon? Has he helped us get better education in our schools? Has he opened up, the credit markets, for us? Has he helped to protect us from police brutality? You know what I mean? I said, can you show me what area has Jeff? And that's why I tell everybody when Jeff runs for president,
let's get going.
He's going to have a hard time.
We're spending quite a bit of time in this.
I'm sorry.
But that's okay. That's okay. The whole idea is that we are reading the newspaper aspect of it. But let's get down to from the standpoint of how did we get to this particular point where this is this big major anti-Trump aspect of it. And why is it the Democrats are not at the table? Now, let me throw something on the table. When I'm thinking about, in terms of who's got all the marbles right now, naturally, the president, who happens to be a Republican, he's got the House side, he's got the Senate side, so all the marbles are there. But at one point in time, Obama had the same thing.
For only 2 years.
No, but he had the same thing. The House and the Senate, and this, that, and the other. But the fact of the matter is, they didn't support him.
No. You're right.
They didn't support him. But I'm throwing that
Bruce,
on. I want to get them on the.
That's how white progressives are.
But I want to get these guys. You get in, talk about this a bit.
About Trump? Or?
No. Basically, the whole idea is that how we've gotten to this particular point. But at one point in time, the Democrats had all the marbles too at some point, if you will. But now here we are today. The Supreme Court issue aspect of it's on the table. That's changing quite a bit, and they have total control. Got me?
Yeah.
And people are sort of like on the D side of playing as if they're going to change this whole thing, and these people are not going to get appointed. They are going to get appointed.
Who?
I'm just throwing this out.
Who?
I'm talking about the Republicans. Trump's going to make several more appointments.
Oh, in the Supreme Court?
Yeah.
He might get lucky and get one.
But I'm just saying. But my point is that that's control. You know what I'm saying. I mean, he's going to be basically getting the chairperson. He's going to be getting the chairperson with the ones that's up there now because Kennedy's leaving.
What if he gets thrown in jail?
What was that?
What if he gets thrown in jail?
Won't
I'll
happen.
throw a party.
But
It can't happen.
Well, something's going to happen.
The
He's
only
going to get
thing.
indicted, or he's going to get
No, you can't indict. See, the only thing that can happen to a president
impeached.
is impeach, and that
Yeah.
comes through Congress. And it doesn't even have to be a felony like a crime. Congress could just walk into Congress tomorrow, you understand, and say he's unfit.
Yeah.
You understand, based on their opinion, and he's gone. It's not like he has to actually commit a crime. You understand?
Yeah.
So what I'm telling you is, I don't think he's going to get impeached. I don't even think it's in the air. And these DAs, I felt the same way when they were threatening to do this to Obama, and when they did it to Clinton. Look at where all these, look where Ken Starr went.
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
He did get an impeachment article against Clinton, but everybody who signed that impeachment article, every last one of them are either dead or out of politics, and most of them were out of politics before they died. I mean, it was their doom. The public never forgave them. You understand? For impeaching Clinton over Monica Lewinsky. Never forget. It ended their political career. Unless it is something smoking gun, that he's not going to go down.
But I guess the point I'm making is that where's the smoking gun?
There is
the only
none.
smoking. There's
Well,
none
there
because,
is,
in all due
but
respect,
nobody wants to.
who's controlling the media at this point in time? Donald Trump.
I don't know if that's
CNN then has to react to sort of wait for the news from Fox. I mean, to be able to respond to something. He's not giving them any opportunity to interview or whatsoever. So they're just reacting to him as opposed to talking to issues that tends to resonate. Like, for instance, in the state of Oregon, you know, we got a traffic problem here. You know, it's called I-5, right? And we got a bridge problem aspect of it. How are we going to get the money? You think Oregon is going to be able to pick up the money from the feds? No way.
I doubt it.
That's right. I don't see it.
I doubt
See what
it.
I'm saying? But my point is that that's an area, I mean, that we need to be spending our time to. See what I'm saying? You got me? But it's
Chris,
always
I
this
agree with
yelling
you.
and,
I wish the Democrats this next session in January would go in and revamp our tax system in this state. I wish they would go do that. Ignore the lobbyists, ignore the rich guys who are going to, you know, scream and yell at them and spit in their face and stuff. Go in there and redo our tax code to make it more fair, make it a way we can collect more, you know, revenue and take care of more of our needs and start investing in infrastructure. That would be great. And if Oregon did that, I think that would be something that it would give federal people, like our federal representatives, something to beat Donald Trump over the head with. But I don't think right now, and I'd love to be proven wrong, the progressive side of the fence has the leadership or has the moral confidence, you understand, to go and take on Trump on issues and not just insults.
Yeah. Well, okay, tell you what, we wanted to spend a little bit more time on that issue because I was trying to focus a little bit on the stresses that a lot of us are having in regards to using the smartphones. That's a pretty heavy piece. And as an example of that, I've got a photo we're going to put on the screen that basically this person. This is.
Well, we can't see it because they haven't.
I don't have it on the screen.
They haven't put
now,
on the
buddy.
screen in here yet.
I don't have the screen on here. We haven't turned our monitor on. I'm
tech
sorry.
guys-
Our monitor is not on in here because someone.
So
tried to
if
sneak on by.
this is a inappropriate photo,
Okay, it's on the
not our
screen.
fault.
Okay, I got the hands up. It's
not our fault.
It's on the screen right now. Okay, it's on the screen right now. But I'm sure you.
And if the photo's inappropriate, I know their names and their addresses, so you will be able to bring it up with them directly.
Okay, no, let's not make. All right, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that very much. Well, anyway, folks, the point of the matter is that it's all about focusing on President Trump, but not the issues of President Trump. It's more of a personal attack. And it's just personal. And I had the opportunity to do that by just basically putting her photo on, and everybody sort of recognized her. But then she became a Trump overnight.
Who?
Sarah.
Oh, you're talking about the Facebook
The
thread you
Facebook
started.
thread, yeah, the Facebook piece.
So Bruce posted a meme on his Facebook page, and it started a really heated debate.
trying to get it
and
on the
there was
monitor
a lot
right
of
now.
insults. This was last night and today.
What about her hanging out with the Queen?
Yeah.
That's a good meme.
No.
It's amusing, and I think people took it way too seriously.
Yeah. See, my point is that I mean, she's there in the big house, and she basically she leads, if you will, the whole issue of the press corps. But my point is that it was always hate. But no, and I saw the kinds of folks that were responding to this issue. I said, wow. And then at one point in time, it's as if to say, I was called Trump overnight.
All these people.
And I'm just saying, and all I'm saying is that, this is the Oregon Voters Digest, and I've been doing this for quite some time. And I was waiting for someone to kind of talk to the issues, but there were no issues at all. I mean, people just getting frustrated across the board.
Let me explain that. Trump is such a ball of hate that the people can't get past his bullshit to get to the issues.
Okay.
They put up the balloon, he's a fool. Everything he says, he's an idiot. And so nobody can get past that. I'm so mad at him, I don't care what he has to say. You know what I mean? And I think I'm a part of the moral majority. I'm so mad at him, I don't care about his policies.
But who promotes that, Don?
Me, I don't know.
No. I'm talking about who got that point to the point where people were reacting.
He did it himself.
I'm saying
He did it himself.
But CNN were the one that
Well,
actually put the
CNN
photo out there.
CNN is just a TV station. You know, he's the one to come up with the stuff all the time. He's
But
the
see,
one
it
that
does lie a
embarrasses
lot. I mean,
himself.
look,
I know.
our
Look,
journalists,
look.
our journalists,
All I'm saying
none
is
of them are going to heaven.
all I'm
There's
saying-
none of them. There's no reason.
all I'm saying, you got
if you-
Fox
yeah.
and CNN.
If I ever meet a journalist that says they believe in God, I call bullshit because you're a journalist. Therefore, you are, a liar.
Now you're talking about car salesmen and lawyers.
Oh my God! The more I learn about the
now,
journalists here in Portland,
do we have that photo again?
especially when
I'm
you
sorry.
get into their college
I want to
years.
make sure we get this meme out there. I thought it was a very interesting piece. I know we did it. I'm sorry about it, Michael. I wanted the group.
we're all
Okay,
wearing
we got
shorts?
it. Thank you. There it is, right
Oh,
there.
there's the meme.
Denied service at the Red Hen. It gets served with the Queen Go Sarah aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was
and
on.
Don made the best comment. Don said, "That's not the Queen. That's Trump Tower." What did you say?
That's probably an old photo from the Trump Tower.
Yeah.
I don't see any a queen or king or anybody there.
And he said, "That's not tea. It's Rococo cocoa."
It's a Rococo decoration, which is abundantly Trump.
Yeah.
And most people don't know what Rococo
See, I was
is.
just looking at
Well,
her
plus the
legs.
fact,
See?
She's got nice legs.
She's got nice legs. I was surprised.
but most
It's her
important,
mouth that's
but
a
most
problem.
important, only about
You gotta look at that. I mean,
but
but
most of all, but most
Don's
of all,
happily married.
but maybe 10% of the people who were looking at that photo knew who she was.
Yeah.
The other 95% of the people don't even know who she is.
But Bruce, the one point I want to make, and I say this to all these people who like to do nothing but put Trump down. My favorite president is Barack Obama. And for 8 years, I listened to people say everything under the sun about him. And the
Exactly.
more they insulted him,
Right.
the more he was ridiculed, the more he was disrespected, guess what? The faster my vote came.
Yeah,
You understand?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I knew 4 years before the second election, 2012, I already knew what my vote was going to be.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so between 2008 and 2012, all those insults, all of that crap that's right now being directed at Trump.
Yeah.
And I tell my Trump hater friends, do you really think you're changing people's minds?
No,
You
you're
understand?
reinforcing it.
I mean, all you're doing is reinforcing. Trump wants people like you to do, because it now means people have to take ownership of him. You're not, because you didn't vote for him in the first place.
Yeah.
You understand? But you know what? You just solidified that support that he had the last time, and he's probably going to get some more because more people are being fed now. You understand? And there are some people in the Midwest and stuff, they hate his guts. But you know what? They're going to vote for him because that dog is hunting right now for him. You know what I mean? They've got jobs.
That's
I mean,
right.
they're building a factory for, I think it was Goodyear, I think it is, in Gary, Indiana. Has anybody been to Gary, Indiana in the last 30 years?
No.
That ghost city? You know what I mean?
Detroit,
hey,
Chicago.
Detroit looks good
Hey.
compared
Oh, yeah.
to Gary, Indiana.
Oh, yes.
You understand?
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
if
Oh,
you've
yes.
ever driven, I remember being there, was in 21 years ago. They had a 15-story building, huge building. It was on the market for less than $100,000.
Wow.
The whole thing, the whole thing. And it was, and even though it was on the market for less than $100,000, there was nobody on planet Earth that wanted it. So now, people are investing in Gary. You hear something about?
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, no wonder the last time he was in Indiana, he had 25,000 people show up. I said, think about it, guys. There are people in that audience, 25,000 people, hate Trump's guts. But you know what they're saying?
Hey.
I'm getting a paycheck. You know what I mean? I don't know what that a-hole is doing, you know what I'm talking about? But I'm getting paid. You understand? And that is powerful. And that's what the progressives don't have. The chief success in the last 45 years for the progressive side is gay rights.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the chief success that we've accomplished of all of the goals. Not health care, not great education for the public sector,
Yeah.
not protecting minorities and other people from, brutal cops. You understand? But we've done, and I'm glad we've done great, for homosexuals. We should do great. But that's it. You understand? After that, there is this vast desert of, I want to do's, I think we should do's, it would be nice if we do.
Yeah.
If you vote for me, I will fight for it.
Yeah.
They never say, if you vote for me, I'm going to work so hard it's going to happen, or I'm going to die trying. I'm going to destroy my political career to get this goal made. They never talk like that, like Trump does.
Wow.
Trump says, I'm going to do this. And if you notice, as much as he's, we all dislike him, everything he said he was going to do in the campaign, what has he done?
He says he was never going to play golf at his places again. He was never going to go to Medill Margolog again.
I don't care about him playing golf. I don't care about any president playing golf.
But when he says, I will work for you, and what he's not doing is...
They're working when they play golf. You got to remember, I'm a Marine. I was in Washington, D.C., and it always cracks me up when people act like a president is ever off. The first thing you learn when you're around the White House, the president is never off. So he can be in the bathroom. He can be playing golf. You understand? He can be playing checkers. And guess what? As long as his heart is pumping, his eyes are open, he is at work. And the moment he can't work,
24/7.
Yes, 24/7.
24/7.
So when he's playing golf, I mean, like tell everybody, what's the average golf game they said he plays? It takes 7 hours to play one round. I mean, who plays
There's
7?
nowhere in the world.
Nowhere in the world. What do you think's
Nowhere in
happening
the
out there?
world.
How many times is he being
Nowhere in the
interrupted?
world.
You
Hey.
know what I'm saying? How many times is... I mean, guys, you're killing me.
24/7. And
Who
this
cares?
Guy, and this guy is
I care.
24/7.
Spending my tax money at his golf
But
course.
that's 24/7.
I don't care.
All right.
Whether he's playing at that golf
fact-
course or in
All
playing
right.
at Augusta.
I'm gonna throw
The
another little
difference
point
between
out.
him and the other presidents is the other presidents didn't have a bunch of properties around the world
This is
to
getting
play
good.
at.
So
they get
So you're
paid.
biased against the rich guy.
No, I'm
So
biased
rich guys
because-
should never run for office.
No, but he should pay. He should pay just like everybody else. He shouldn't profit because he's
now
in
let me ask you this.
Mar-a-Lago.
Did you like-
He shouldn't profit
Did you-
because
Wait a
he's over
We
there.
can't
at some
not make a
Scottish-
profit.
Did you like Kennedy? John F.
I
Kennedy?
don't remember him.
Okay. Where did he take his vacation?
I don't know.
At properties his father
Kenny
owned.
Bunkport.
Yeah, no, and other places where his father owned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and guess what?
Hyannisport or something.
Hyannisport, and they also had a golf course in Florida.
Yeah.
You understand? Now, nobody ever talks about how Kennedy, when he would go on vacations,
Right,
would
right,
go
right.
to
was
Joseph
nice.
P. Kennedy's properties.
Right.
Second
Paid
nice
for.
guy.
Paid for by others.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
yep,
That
yep,
is so
yep,
petty.
yep,
and
yep,
all,
yes.
and being petty like that, that just makes the people who love Trump love him even more.
Look, the other funny thing about what's going on today, like right now, what's current? What is he doing now currently? He's going around meeting the leaders, the United Nations, and this, that, and the other. And and the way he does it, the style that he does it, as if he makes the deal before he meets the people. He talks about it.
He's a businessman.
He just talks about it. And by the time he gets down to meet the person, they've already got pulled out the checkbook and given him a check.
Yeah.
Straight up. They've already figured it out.
Well, you know what's fascinating is he's against NAFTA. And I'll point out to Robert Williams, a good friend of ours.
old Bob. Yeah,
I
big
said, Bob, I remember in 93, 94, you were a union guy there. You weren't
Yeah,
retired yet.
that's right.
All of my union family, because I got a lot of union people in my family. That's
Yeah.
why I'm so mad at the union leaders here. Lowlifes. But anyway, all my union friends and family hated NAFTA. They marched
Yes, they did.
against
That's right.
it.
That's
They
right.
I said, now here you got Trump trying to destroy NAFTA.
Yeah.
And you're mad at him for destroying it, but you're not mad at the countries like Canada that said, tough, we're not negotiating.
Yeah.
Canada said, we're not renegotiating NAFTA. Mexico, we're not renegotiating NAFTA. I said, think about it, guys. Our closest buddies and friends
Yep.
love the imbalance in
That's
NAFTA.
right. That's right.
They don't care that they're hurting our
right.
economy.
That's right.
And you're more on with them, feeling bad about the tariffs he's dropping on them. I said, hey, this is what Obama,
Hey,
I
this
think,
is-
would have been doing,
Yep.
because Obama didn't like NAFTA. If Obama was president
support. No
third
support.
term, he would be nicer about
Yeah,
it.
but
'cause
no
he's-
support, no support. He's not having the same support. And I'll be just straight up with you.
Yeah.
I mean, first black president in the history of this country. And right up front with you, there are many D's that didn't support him.
Yeah.
Big time.
Well, you're right.
So he really didn't. But Trump, in all due respect,
especially Pelosi.
yeah, right. But right now, Trump has got control. He's got control, as you're saying. He's creating the jobs. He's making things happen, if you will. And then there's this small
Does
minority.
Harley
right
think he's creating jobs? Does Carrier think he's creating jobs?
Well, Harley, hold it. Harley is doing very well right now, and they're in a bind because they were gonna expand outside of this country, but they're having a hard time doing that right now. I was talking with Harley people 2 years ago in Milwaukee when I was visiting my dad, And Harley is doing good. If you've been to their museum and their hotel, and now they're getting ready to do an amusement park, I mean, Harley.
That was huge.
Harley
That was
is
huge.
trying to figure out how to deal with the Donald's hatred of NAFTA right now.
That's right.
They had already set up that they were going to start expanding into other markets around the world, and then here comes President Trump.
Yep.
Says no NAFTA. I mean, no. I mean, I'm going to destroy NAFTA, and they're trying to figure out a way to,
they go around.
to go around it.
You're not going to do it. Not with him.
No, and I think if they do go around it, that'll be the end of Harley. Harley will piss off so many Americans, hardworking Americans,
Especially now.
especially right now. They better back
How much
up.
more time? I've got, in all due respect, we've got the camera in the front of the monitor, and I can't see the time. Unfortunately, I got 4 more minutes there. Okay, good. So we're gonna take a break about in the next 4 minutes or whatever. This has been quite a show right now. But we're reading the newspaper, folks. We're reading the newspaper. I hope you like this style because, as far as I'm concerned, once a month we're going to do this. We're definitely going to do this. This is a very important piece. And every so often you may see some of these people on some other shows. In fact, like Teresa, for instance, she's going to run a piece in the communication field. I mean, that's a very important piece, and she's going to be doing something, interviewing guest folks on publications like this. She may even interview Don Dupay. I think that's who wrote this book. Don Dupay, Behind the Badge in River City, a Portland Police Memoirs. Boy, I tell you, we really need to know about the police department.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's not the same Dupay that I know. Did you know this guy, Don?
Yeah, he's a good guy too.
He's a good guy? Really? Okay. Really?
Deadshot.
No, in all due respect, we got Don right here right now. He's written several books, and we're going to have that particular piece. And Fred's going to be on another piece aspect of it. We're going to do one show a month on vet issues, vet benefit, veterans, and that's going to be a good one. We're going to be bringing vets from the ends. We're going to be telling them about their stories. We're going to bring social services, well, not social services, but services that are for vets, making sure that they get that, because that is another major problem around this particular area. So we're going to have some really key. But my point is that we want you to comment back and let us know what you think about what are some of the things we're doing, like this particular deal here, going around the table and dealing with issues that are relevant. Current is whatever. So as we come back, we're going to get here in Oregon. We're going to come back to Oregon, and we're going to talk about some issues here locally in Portland, and some of the issues, like for instance, the whole issue with immigration reform, the ISIS issue. We had protesting this past weekend, and we got that piece. And
most of the people protesting don't even live in Oregon.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So my point is that we need to focus on some of our issues. I mean, we got a traffic issue right here. We got a health issue from the standpoint of air quality. I mean, we're talking about that piece. We're talking about the whole issue of gentrification. And Fred, you and I know point blank, it's gone. The property has gotten to the point now, it's so valuable. There's no black community, Fred. Fred, there's no black community. Fred, can they buy?
But now the next question you should ask is that good? I mean, is it good that Portland has reached to a point where black people are just assimilated into the community? You know what I mean? Do we really want?
I think that
do we really want a black section, an Asian section anymore? I mean, as we're into a new millennium,
that's not going to happen.
Well, no, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm kind of torn. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, I'm kind of torn. I can understand why people like the idea of, hey, I want a black community. But you know what? We had communities like that.
Yeah.
They were created through racism and oppression. You understand? It wasn't like black people just said, hey,
prostitution.
Yeah. But hey, when you're not allowed to do anything else. My grandfather was a hustler because he could not get a job other than being a hustler.
Yeah.
You understand? Now black people have a lot more opportunity. We can do a lot more things. That's why I'm always pointing out to a lot of black people in Portland who don't even think about this. I said, do you understand, in 2018, you're the first there's ever been that's black and doing what you're doing. Or you're in the top 5. There's only been 5 of you. Mm-hmm. You understand? People don't understand a lot of the things. People like me in Oregon is a new thing that's happened recently in the last 30 years, literally. You go back, even Mr. Plummer didn't even have the ability to do things that I do.
Well, he was a realtor.
And he was a realtor,
right.
a very successful one.
Yeah, that's right.
But he wasn't able to do what I do, or what Chris Gwynn does. You understand? I mean, so really, guys like me are a phenomenon that's developed over the last 30 years.
Yeah. I can think about the housing situation and the so-called, and the idea was, i.e., what can we do here in the community, and talk about home ownership and aspect of it. And I just jumped right in the mix of that whole piece and didn't get any support from the black community.
Well, the new ones. The old guys were dying off. They couldn't do anything.
No, I don't say that. I don't want to say
They didn't have the money or the clout. You're talking about by the mid 80s, most of the top black leaders in Oregon were gone. Almost all of them were gone. And you had this in-between group, a bunch of lieutenants that anointed people, you know, what I call the Black Panther guys. And the Black Panther guys, most of them weren't from Portland. And the ones that were, they just wanted their own peace.
That reminds me, I saw Kent the other day. I hope one of these days we might sit down with old Kent. Kent Ford. Remember Kent?
Yep.
Yeah, I might sit down and talk with Kent. I saw him. He's got a little small business. He was unloading some wood, some logs or something. I thought I saw him. I gave him a card. Hey, Kent, if you're here and if you're seeing, as you know, let's make the commitment. Come on over and talk about it. You're doing well, buddy. He's looking pretty good too. He's looking pretty good.
How old is Kent now?
I don't know.
I don't know. But anyway, we'll find out.
17,
Look
17
like we're at that point now. We need to take this break. We're just going to go on and take this short break. Can we do this right now? We're going to take this short break, and we'll be right back, folks. Stay tuned.
You are watching Oregon Voters Digest. This program can be seen again on these channels on these dates and times. Tell a friend.
Folks, again, I'm Bruce Broussard, your host, Oregon Voters Digest, and I got these other guys here with me. They're basically all hosts themselves in their own rights and aspects of it. And we're just reading the paper and just figuring out what's going on here from a national perspective. On the first part of the show, we talked nationally. We talked about President Donald Trump. I thought we got some good points that were out there. Boom. Real good, guys. Now, this particular half hour, we're going to bring it local. We're going to talk about some things here in the state of Oregon, more specifically in the Portland metropolitan area. That's where all the activities are happening anyway. Yeah. So, hey, Teresa, I think you got something. What do you want to bring up?
Well, I think it's important that we talk about the article Friday, July 13th, about Ted Wheeler by OregonLive.com. So Ted Wheeler says that half of the arrests that police made last year were of homeless people. And he's kind of, in a way, he's throwing the Portland Police Bureau under the bus again. The mayor said people who are experiencing homelessness or who have mental health and addiction issues should have fewer interactions with police and more with social service providers. He said he wants to know what's driving the statistics. Why are they being arrested more? The real question here is, this is a quote, is there some sort of profiling or implicit bias? From my perspective, that's the crux of the situation. The police should be focused on policing criminal activity, and that's sort of the beginning, the middle, and the end for me. That's a quote from Wheeler. What? And to me, it really illustrates his naivety when it comes to criminology. And I just want to say, his background is finance. It's not criminology. And, I've noticed that he's just become really prickly lately and kind of arrogant.
He's square.
He thinks he knows everything. That's the problem.
He's just square.
So he says Wheeler met with the Oregonian, Oregon Live editorial board, and that the newsroom's analysis showed that 52% of arrests were of homeless people, which makes up less than 3% of the population. So he's getting his statistics from the Oregonian, OregonLive.com.
We know they lie.
Well,
All they do is drive down the street.
this is the thing. So the
ridiculous.
criminal justice system is not the right. This is another direct quote from Wheeler. The criminal justice system is not the right place. Is not the right place of first resort to provide addiction or mental health services. It should happen elsewhere with no police and no judges and no jails. Wheeler's background is in finance, not criminology, not police work. He needs to understand what he doesn't know. He refused requests for interviews regarding his statements, saying only that he, quote, wanted to know how many of the arrests were related to the calls made from the public as opposed to contacts initiated by police. When asked about the disparity in arrests, Wheeler told a reporter, "I could play with statistics with you all day." That's a really condescending thing to say, and it suggests that, listen, I'm Ted Wheeler. I know all about statistics because I'm an accountant. Well, he may know all about statistics with regard to finance. That doesn't mean he knows anything about criminology.
I think he's just
statistics.
square. I mean, Ted Wheeler probably hasn't been in a fight since first grade.
Well, that's true.
You know what I'm talking about? I mean, his wife did not marry him because she knows he's going to protect her.
Well, you know
what I mean? But Ted's a nice
ran,
guy.
In all due respect, I ran for mayor to try to sort of bring him up to date in terms of what the issues were.
This is the thing.
Unfortunately,
He's not that type of guy.
This is the thing. Don and I were really offended by this article because he's throwing PPB under the bus. And once again, he's saying he knows what they need to do. You know, he needs to talk to the people who are experts.
Well, he got a new chief. What's the new chief?
But she's not an expert on Portland.
Okay,
she's still learning.
Good.
She's from Oakland. I mean, she's got a world of learning to do about this culture. Well,
I hate to put it that
he
way.
continued saying, this is another quote,
sorry.
"We don't have
Sorry about
enough
that.
information based on a news," this is also in this article, so he admits, "We don't have enough information based on a newspaper article to come to a conclusion." And then later, on Friday, he says that the newsroom investigation was a very thorough and I thought provocative report, which he is taking, quote, very seriously. So at one point in the article, he says, well, we can't really rely on this because, you know, this news article. And then later he says, oh, it's very, you know, it's very thorough and provocative and a report which he's taking seriously. My advice to Ted Wheeler would be Oregonian, OregonLive.com editorial board's not really going to understand criminological statistics in the same way that a professor of criminology is. So if he wants to talk to someone who really knows what he's talking about, who really knows the stats and criminology, Chris Henning, Portland State University. He works with the Portland Police Bureau in their domestic violence programs. He's a very sharp guy, a former professor of mine. He is the guy that Wheeler needs to talk to. If he wants, this guy he's the expert in Portland on criminology statistics for like the last 20 years.
Who's he listening to? I mean, I'm not going to stop you.
He's listening to homeless advocates. And he's afraid to fight. He's worried about having a major confrontation with Antifada, where there's going to be like 7 or 8 of them dead, 10 or 20 of them. You know, now look, if this was Terry Shrunk and Frank Ivancy, before Antifada made it to a protest, they would have been in their motel rooms, beaten bloody, and informed it's going to get worse if you show up tomorrow. You understand? So we've gone from having a mayor that protects the public from violent people.
That's fair.
You understand what I'm talking about? To a mayor who's worried about fighting them. I mean, I'm not saying I want a violent confrontation with anybody, with Antifada or what. But you know what you learn as a black person in this country? Sometimes your enemy gives you no choice but to fight. You understand? You don't want to fight. You want to run. You want to turn your cheek. But, you know what I'm saying? But he's running away from a fight.
This is the issue with Wheeler. He's saying that we need an investigation into the Portland Police Bureau to see if there's some kind of bias because they're arresting more homeless people. It could be they're arresting more homeless people in Portland and in downtown specifically because the homeless people that are here are homeless people of a different sort. These are not teenage kids. They're not families. These are out-of-state travelers with criminal records. These are predators. So maybe the Portland Police Bureau is arresting more homeless people because the people they're arresting are criminals out committing
But
crimes.
Ted Wheeler
I wanna get
is
Don.
too
So-
square.
Okay. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But Ted Wheeler's a nice guy, so I'm not trying to throw him under the bus.
I don't know
but
about that.
Ted
I don't
Wheeler
know.
is a square.
No,
Well, I
no,
I mean,
agree.
this guy, like I'm telling you,
Okay.
I bet you $500 he has not been in a fight since at least 1975.
Probably. If,
You
if
understand?
then.
I want to
If
get I want to
then.
get
If
Don in
then.
on it. Don, what do you feel? He's police commissioner. Do you feel he qualifies as a police
He
commissioner?
doesn't have a
of the
background
city
in
of
law
Portland?
enforcement.
Wait,
He
but let's
doesn't-
Don,
no.
go on, throw it out there, Don. You were the cop at one
I
time.
heard this same statistic nonsense 50 years ago.
Okay.
Now he's saying we're arresting too many homeless people. So how could so many homeless people cause so much problem? How could so few homeless people cause so much problem? And are we profiling them? No, they're just arresting the crooks.
Yeah.
You know, people are,
Yeah.
the cops are arresting people who do bad things. You know, and that's just the way it is. You know, 60 years ago, I heard the same
How
thing.
how
He's-
come Underwood isn't putting these guys in jail?
Yeah, exactly.
Well-
He's not helping.
The problem also is that
He's not
he's
helping.
saying that, okay, these people may have addiction or mental health issues. It's rhetoric. What he's saying is just rhetoric. If he really wanted to help these people, then he and the other people in City Hall would get the funds together for mental health services more than what's happening currently, for addiction services
Yeah.
more than what's happening currently, so that if a person calls St. Vincent de Paul, they don't have to wait a year and a half
Yeah.
to get on the drug treatment program because there's a 2-year waiting list.
Well, you got the county.
know.
Wait, you got the county involved. You got the county involved in this issue too. What about Mike Reese? He was a previous Portland police chief. He's now sheriff of Multnomah County. He knows more about the homeless piece right now. In fact, in all due respect, I give him credit for picking up some of these folks now.
Yeah.
Things have changed a little bit, but still, we still have a homeless
But I mean, he's
problem.
the sheriff. He's not the mayor.
Yeah.
The
No,
mayor,
but
the
he-
mayor's got to come up with
but
these
he's the one
solutions.
that
mayor,
hires them.
look, generally speaking, in Portland, Oregon history, and correct me if I'm wrong, the mayor sets the tone for the police
Right.
department.
Right, that's
Exactly.
commissioner.
And sets
Yeah.
their goals and their priorities.
Yeah.
Right? And basically right now, what I think Ted's admitting is he doesn't know how to lead men and women
Yeah.
into
Right.
conflict.
Right.
And law enforcement is a constant conflict.
Right.
Okay, that's just how it is.
Well, you got a new chief. Isn't she?
Well, yeah,
she's
but-
the chief of
helping
police.
anything.
But he didn't get a chief to come to Portland and lead over him.
No.
He got a chief that's gonna listen. I mean, she's being paid almost $200,000 a year
Wow.
to do basically whatever he tells her. She's not.
Right.
I mean, I've never met the woman, and I'm not trying to throw her under the bus, but I'm just saying I grew up here, and in the past we've had chiefs. They come in and they say, "Mayor, what are the goals you want me to accomplish
yeah.
here?" You understand?
Yeah.
And what we got right now is a mayor that's setting those goals, but those goals aren't in the mindset, an alignment with protecting the people of Portland.
Right,
They are
right.
they are in alignment of protecting his political career
Right.
and relationships.
Exactly.
You understand? He's worried about pissing people off.
This is the thing. He's worried about pissing off the vocal minority. He's worried about
Yeah.
pissing off the young activists who will go after him if he says, we need to get tough on crime. Because the reality
Yep.
is, in November of 2017, there was an article, Small Business Owners Say Portland is Lawless. We all read it.
Yep.
20 small business owners came to City Hall to tell Mayor Wheeler they're fed up with what they feel is escalating crime and hostility in their area.
But most of those business owners, though they have businesses in Portland, right? They don't vote in Portland because they can't. They don't live here. So a guy like Ted Wheeler, he is square to not know how to protect his wife from a rapist. You understand? And I'll tell you, when his wife and kid get attacked by one of these homeless people,
Right.
then he's going to change.
Right, exactly.
Because, or some,
That's what
he
it's gonna
comes from a
take.
significant sized family.
Yeah.
And the reason why I know this, I remember I used to argue with this one particular editor down at the Oregonian about Measure 11, right? He hated Measure 11, thought Measure 11 was horrible, right? There's something about his daughter getting raped by 2 guys. You understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Raped.
Now, who you talking about now?
I'm not going to tell his name.
What
He
you
knows
talking
who
about?
I'm talking about.
Oh,
But you know what? Now when you talk to him about Measure 11, you better be
Right.
on the right side.
Right.
You better be on the right side. You know what happened to my kid?
Ah.
You understand? And you know what they were going to do? They were saying one of them had mental issues and didn't know what he was
this
doing.
is the thing that-
You understand? He becomes so, supportive. You
All right,
understand?
all right.
Once something happens
Right.
to his.
Oh,
The thing that,
Ted's gonna be the same way.
pisses me off about
You're
Ted
right.
Wheeler
Yeah.
is this. Ted Wheeler controls what the police do. The Portland Police Bureau hasn't been down to the ICE headquarters because he said no. So
Yep.
it's just the Homeland Security guys.
Wait a minute.
They will do what he says.
Wait, but
So
Darryl
the
Kelly's
last
very
couple of
outspoken.
years,
Come on.
But Daryl has to follow his orders.
No,
Right.
no,
The
no,
last
no,
couple of
go
years,
ahead.
basically, Ted Wheeler has tied the hands of law enforcement to do their job. Remember the problem we had at the Springwater Trail?
Yeah,
So we've
yeah.
got Portland police officers who can't do their job because, God forbid, someone might videotape them arresting a homeless person who raped a girl, assaulted someone, robbed them, because these are a vast majority of these homeless people are travelers.
Yep.
They come to Portland because they hear, go to Portland, the cops will leave you alone. So this article that was published last week has Mayor Wheeler, once again, in so many words, throwing the Portland Police Bureau under the bus, judging them, saying, oh, well, they're not doing their job. We've got to conduct an investigation. He's going to have, Constantine Severe conduct some investigation to determine whether or not they're profiling or whether or not they have bias against homeless people.
Man.
Could it be that it's just because Portland, Oregon is inundated with violent traveling homeless people?
Now think about it. Constantine is going to be told by the mayor what the results are going to be. This is such a cush job. You understand? Mueller goes to him and says, this is what I think's happening. Prove it for me.
Right,
Because if
exactly.
he comes and counters what
Right.
Wheeler says, then they get to find another
Wait a minute.
job.
But
Right,
help is,
exactly.
Wait a minute. But help is on the way.
Where?
Help is on the way. Between the election of Loretta Smith and Joanne
Right.
Bowman. Help is on the way.
Right.
Help is on the way. Let's talk about that a little bit, folks. Help is on the way. Are you finished? Are you finished on your piece? You got a couple more things, and I want to talk about this help on the way. One of those women is going to get on that board and going to change some things.
Okay,
Talk to
I'm
me.
pretty much finished. I just want to say
What's your
Ted Wheeler.
Yes, talk to
His
me.
name is Professor Chris Henning. He works at Portland State University. His phone number is 503-725-8520. khenning@pdx.edu. He's the guy you need to be talking
There is
to.
no way in hell
Was Henning involved?
Ted
at one point in
Wheeler
time?
is going to call that guy.
Right, because he knows his business.
Until some sex offender, homeless
Right,
guy,
right.
who's hanging out
But he's-
over there by
he's-
Cleveland High School,
he thinks he's
tries
gonna-
to rape his wife.
He thinks he's gonna
then
get-
he's going to call that guy.
He thinks he's going to get good statistics from the Oregonian, OregonLive.com. The Oregonian is it's a ghost town. It's being conducted with a skeleton crew. These are not criminology experts. He needs to contact Chris Henning, but I know he won't.
No, he's not
because
going
he's
to.
a know-it-all, and that's
Well, now
why
he
I
will.
don't like.
Are you sharing
That's
with
why
him?
I
You
don't
sharing?
like
Fred,
Ted Wheeler.
He's
Why don't you give him a
square.
call?
Right.
Give him a call.
Ted,
He won't talk to me.
Ted Wheeler.
He won't talk to me.
He
Oh,
won't talk to anybody.
He won't talk to
because
me.
he thinks he knows everything.
He won't
That's
come
his
on the
biggest,
show. He
that's
won't
his
come on the
biggest
show.
weakness.
Don, you've
Ted will
been
listen
quiet.
to me, but he's not going to do it.
Don
There's
will do
no
that for
way
us.
he's going to
Don,
do it.
you will do it. You're a former cop.
I'll interview him.
Will you interview him? But will you call him?
We'll hunt him down.
Will you give him a call?
No.
Wait a minute. How are you going to interview him? He's not here. Fred can't
We'll
call
go
him.
wait at City
Ted
Hall.
is not.
Wait for him to
guys,
come out.
our city elected.
Guys, I got 10 minutes. I got 10 minutes.
elected a
All right.
square mayor.
Okay,
This is the
we got the
first
square.
mayor
Okay,
we've
I
had.
got 10 minutes.
Maybe ever.
I got 10 minutes here. Let's talk about
He's
Joanne.
cold.
Let's
He's
talk
definitely
about.
cold.
Let's talk about the person who's going to change him.
I call him Archie.
We're talking about Joanne Bowman and Loretta Smith's going to be our next. One of them is going to be our next city commissioner.
I honestly
And boy,
think
they're gonna-
Loretta's going to win.
Why?
I just want to say one thing.
Wait.
60 years ago, I heard the same bullshit. I was a young cop, and I
Real
was
quick.
told when I went to work, and I worked at North Precinct under Frank Springer with some really good old cops. How can the 19,000 black people that live here in Portland cause all the crime?
Because that's all they had to left for them.
That's all. But I heard that now it's
wait,
the homeless people that are causing the problem.
Yeah, but it was
It's
legitimate.
the same.
Yeah.
It's the same rhetoric bullshit.
But hold it. You're getting into
Come
a
on now, I
different
got
realm.
time to go.
Okay.
Wait, I'm sorry. Let's talk about that at another point in time. We can talk about that piece.
But
But
it
let's
still
talk
makes
about
me
the.
mad.
I understand. But let's talk about Loretta and Joanne Bowman. As you know, we're going to have for the first time in historical a black female is going to be on the city council,
Yeah.
and both of them they're top notch within their own respective
I
area.
think so.
Okay, you got me.
They're both good.
One's a sitting commissioner from Multnomah County. That's Loretta Smith. Okay, she's still sitting there until what, November, December, and then the new person just
January.
picks it up January. Okay, in January, and then we got Joanne Bowman, who basically just recently put up the NAACP. I mean, found a new location and did some things and whatever. But then they've thrown her off. Basically, threw her under the bus because they said she shouldn't be the president of the NAACP. But my point is that you got two.
Hold on, while she's running for office?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
my, why do they do that?
Well, that's what I'm asking
Yeah,
the question.
they did do that.
Yeah,
I
they
remember
did
that.
do that. I thought there was.
Does she have to step down?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, she had to
They
step
have
down. In all due respect, that now there's no representation at the NAACP as far as I'm concerned.
You know, that is stupid.
But anyway, let's talk about that. What do you think?
I am
What's your
pleased.
choice?
I'm pleased that we have this great choice. The only thing I'm upset with is they disrespected both of these women, the Oregonian and the Tribune. We got all these white guys and a couple of white women, but it's mostly white guys. They get together and they pick their favorite nigger between the two of them. And that's when I hate it when white people do that. I mean, if you read their endorsement of Joanne, I mean, both of these are extreme. They're historical figures when it comes to
Real
Oregon,
quick, okay.
right? They're both historical figures.
Oh yeah.
And instead of trying to develop them more and present both of them,
Yeah.
because this is an incredible moment.
Oh yes.
They do the racist white boy thing,
Yeah.
and pick their favorite nigger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is like straight out of the South.
Wow.
You understand?
Wow. That's heavy, Fred.
They go, hey, we got two niggers here. This one we like better.
Wow.
The other one we don't like so much because, and then the first thing black people think is, well, they don't like the uppity one, of course, because powerful white people hate outspoken. I mean, when I say outspoken, and I don't give a damn about you with your opinion. You understand? Joanne is more conciliatory than Loretta. But I'm not trying to say which one's better or not. I'm saying what I really am disappointed in is that the white people in media in this town didn't seize upon this as what it is, an incredible historic opportunity,
Right.
and try to present both of them as broadly as they could
Right.
to let the public decide
Right.
which direction, because this is going to change a little bit
It's
in the
gonna change,
direction
yes.
of the relationship black people have in this community. It's an powerful moment.
Yes.
And I think these are two perfect women to
Awesome.
choose from.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Don,
It's a race between crass and class. As far as
what was that? What was that?
It's a race between
But
crass
isn't it
and
always-
class.
That's what it's all
always-
about, Don. Come on, what does that mean? I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, you know,
What are you talking about? Real quick, lad.
Yeah,
We got
your
about 6
experience.
minutes.
Come on. Share
Don.
what you
Well,
think.
Yeah, what's
Just
on your
lay it
mind?
on us.
I hate the dishonesty of Joanne Hardesty. I can't help it.
Why is she dishonest?
Because she's lied about her education from day one. She says she was a high school graduate. She's not. Okay, if you're not,
But
then
she's a Navy vet.
I don't care what she
I mean,
is.
she
I'm a
couldn't have
Navy
gotten
vet.
she
I'm
couldn't
not
have gotten
running
in the
for
Navy.
Yeah, but
without-
you know the Navy
without a
never
diploma.
required you to know how to read and write. Come on, I'm a
That's
Marine.
Marine. That's
You
a-
guys never had to read and write. You know?
Wow. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I know you knew how to read and write, but that's why you got rank.
She's.
All right, so you got you. We
I
need to
have,
talk
I
about
have,
this.
I have no respect.
We're going to be interviewing her. We're going to be interviewing.
I'd love.
I'm going to
I
be
was here
scheduling
last time.
I'm
she
going to
was
be
here and she
scheduling
ran
him.
away.
We're going to be scheduling him over here for the Oregon Voters Digest. I'll be meeting. We'll come up with some dates and we'll do something. Okay, good.
I think they're both great leaders.
I think they're both great.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, look
And-
here. Someone's going to. Hey, look. They're going to have a forum. We might want to throw this out. There's going to be an announcement. There's going to be a forum on the 18th at McMinimum's here in Northeast Portland. Okay, let's put that up. Do we have that schedule there? And what's the address? I think that's.
Are
right
they
off
both
of-
going to be there?
Let's see what happens. Let's see what does the flyer says. Let's see, where's the flyer? Where's the flyer so we can see where's this form? Oh, we're still down. One more minute. We'll just keep talking a little bit anyway, but that'll be the form. I don't know where the form is. I don't know who the form
Anybody
is.
who goes to it, and everybody should, they should try to get a photo with both of them.
Yeah,
Because this is pure Portland history in
Yeah.
progress.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
Michael might. Mike, we got to have somebody over there, Mike. We got to have something
Yeah.
we can use that as part
That's
of
a
the
really
deal.
good point that you made, Fred, and I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah.
But knowing the way the media is in Portland, I'm
Hey,
not surprised.
we got some racist SOBs.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I cannot wait to really start playing with them. I play with them a little bit, but I'm so one of them are going to do such a Muhammad Ali on him. He is such a.
Who is that? Who you talking
I ain't
about?
going to say his name right now, but it goes back to his college years. In his college
And
years.
he's not at the Willamette Week, I know.
I ain't gonna tell you where he's at, but he
That's
is.
all you talk
he is
about.
prominent. No, I talk about the Oregonian and the
Oh,
Tribune
well,
too.
So it's at the Oregonian.
No, I look at all of them.
So it's at the Oregonian.
I look at all of
He's
them.
at the Oregonian.
They're at
And he's
all
at the
of them.
Oregonian. You're slowing down.
Huh? They
You're getting
go
close.
to the same
I'm
place
getting
to
close.
drink
I'm getting
beer.
close. I'm getting close.
They go to the same place to drink beer.
Oh, where's that?
Yeah,
McMiniman?
yeah. Nope.
I almost got it.
They go to the Mac Club.
The Mac Club.
Yeah,
Oh,
drink beer at
that's
the
where
same
you
place.
saw it.
I mean,
that's what,
These guys,
that's
if
what
they
you-
would just write about each other sometimes about what they
Okay.
were like in
Hey, look,
college,
Right,
get
it
that-
would be awesome.
Where's that forum?
They wouldn't have their jobs very long.
Where's that announcement? We got about 3 minutes. We got that. We got an announcement. Do we have that announcement? Do we have that announcement? Okay.
Yep.
Or just read it off. Just read it off. Or bring the forum in here, and I'll read it. Oh, here we go. Here it is, right here. Candidate forum. Portland's first.
should.
Here you go. That is. Hey, that is on the reader board. Candidates forum. Portland's first African American female city councilman.
Yeah.
Okay, race talks.
Kennedy
Race
School.
talk. Oh, that's Donna Maxey. Donna
Yeah.
Maxey's for a race talk.
Yep.
Hey, she's very great.
And Donna
Opportunities-
Maxey's family's historical.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Mr. Maxey's
Daughter.
daughter?
Whoa.
Oh my God!
Donna,
is
right on.
leading on this.
Donna, let's see.
And
now.
you know these white
Kennedy-
guys
wait,
don't know
let's-
who the
let's-
hell
let-
Donna
let
Maxey
me get
is.
this in. Let me get this
Just a
in.
nigger
Kennedy
to them.
School. Kennedy School. Okay, gymnasium. Tuesday, August the 14th, 2018, 6 p.m. The doors open. I guess 7 p.m. Event. Free. Free.
do that
Minor with parents or guardian. Okay.
really
About
messy.
candidate from. Okay. Blah blah blah. Okay. So let's see. We got
Why don't you start it
featured.
off?
Featured. Hey, wait a minute. Let's hold on. Featured Joanne Hardesty and Loretta Smith, forum moderator Tricia Tillman. I've heard of that name before. Isn't that the young lady that was at the county that sued the county or something of that nature? Yeah, Tillman. I think anyway. There was some, I think there was something about that piece. But anyway, Tricia Tillman. I understand she's very sharp. Okay, former director of Multnomah County Public Health. That's the one who basically sued the county.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. That's
And they
going to be
hired
great.
white people to investigate whether or not racism happened.
Yes. Yeah.
Right,
You know,
right. I
that's
remember
like
that.
that's like hiring David Duke's daughter.
Yeah.
Investigate your dad.
Right, right.
Is your dad racist? I mean, he has
No,
said he
no.
wants the jigaboos and the niggers and stuff to go back to Africa.
Well, they just hired women. They just hired Charles Jordan's son.
They did for
Yep,
what?
they did that.
At the county?
He's in the diversity kind of deal. I don't have all of the particular.
I didn't
but
know
we
that.
probably have- they just hired
That's
him.
good.
That's kind of neat. That's a really neat deal.
That is a neat deal.
They're gonna address the issue of institutional racism.
I bet they.
at the county.
I bet they
That's
had
gonna be
no
a very
idea who he
interesting
was.
piece.
I bet they had
You
no
don't think
idea
so? You don't
until
think
the
so?
first day at work.
Oh,
They
he's
saw him
awesome.
probably put a picture on his desk
Right,
of his dad.
right.
And they go,
Oh,
man, that darky looks familiar. I've seen that picture before. Who is he?
Hey.
Oh, that's Charles Jordan, my father.
Yes,
he
yes,
was the
he's
first
man.
black city commissioner.
That's right.
Oh
Yes,
my
he's
God.
awesome. Yes, he's the man. He's
Yeah.
gonna be the man. Awesome guy. We got about one more minute. Well, folks, I think this has been great. A lot of energy. And we got things across. Fred,
Yeah.
Don.
Class and class.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Teresa, you did good. You helped us out, Teresa. You were the only one that was well read.
You know-
Because you're the writer.
Yeah.
The rest of these
No,
guys,
no, no.
they don't know nothing.
no, that's
You
not
don't know
true.
nothing.
They-
I just go out and sell
They
houses.
just got, there's another guy.
I just go out and sell houses.
He has no manners at all. No manners
Fred
at
knows
all.
everybody.
Okay,
Yeah.
but he's good.
I got manners.
You're doing a good job. You're doing a
I got
good job.
manners.
You good job. Now, what is that? What's that newspaper you were talking about? This guy was working for the paper?
What?
You told me the guy's name.
Uh-huh.
Was it Willamette Week? Was it Willamette
Very
Week?
good.
Oh,
You'll learn about it when I pull up. I'm gonna pull a slash Sarah Sanders slash Muhammad Ali on and just show up one day and just get up all in his stuff.
A photo. Black guy. Oh, I got him.
Uh-huh.
I got it now. Black guy. He's a black guy?
Nope. I'll tell you he's white. Way white.
Way white.
Way white.
How's a way white? What's
He's
a way
like
white?
way white.
Okay, good. Well, guys, hey, thanks very much, folks. This has been great, very enjoyable. Enjoy your stay. It's pretty warm out there. Get some watermelon. How's that? There you go, Griffin. Get some watermelon. Eat. Take care. Have a good one. See you next week for another good show. This is
You're good.
great. I don't know.
I got people bugging me left
What's
and
the name
right.
of the guy now? What's the name of
I
the
can't
guy?
tell you.
What's the name of the guy?
I can't tell
You're
you.
still on.